Hello students, good morning all of you. Today I Ravindra Mohan Mishra from Sri Jagdamba Sanskrit College Batho am taking the class of Shastri II. Yesterday we have discussed about explanation of the play Merchant of Venice. Today we see next from the drama. Today we see from Act First, Scene Third. The lines are as follows. My meaning in saying he is a good man is to have you understand me that he is sufficient, yet his means are in supposition. He hath an argosy bound to Tripolis, another to the Indies. I understand, moreover, upon Riatlo he hath, I think I may take his bond. These lines have been taken from the play The Merchant of Venice. These are written by William Shakespeare. Shakespeare was a great dramatist. He was certainly one of the most successful writers of his time. These lines are spoken by Shylock of Act First, Scene 3. It is taken from Act First, Scene 3. In these lines, Shylock affirms that he is ready to give loan because Antonio is a very perfect and honest man. The next paragraph. In these above lines, Antonio would do anything to help his friend Bassanio, who wants to pursue Portia's hand in marriage but has disabled mind state. For this reason, he loans some money from Shylock. He has squandered all his own wealth, so Antonio encouraged him to try what my credit can in Venice do, as even Antonio's fortune are at sea, so he does not have the funds to lend to her dear friend Bassanio. Shylock and Antonio are old enemies, and as the audience will learn shortly about this, Shylock hates him for he is a Christian. Antonio has no any option. He has only option Shylock. Shylock is interested in Bassanio's proposition of a loan of 3,000 ducats. He knows that Antonio is a man of means and is sufficient. Shylock also knows that Antonio's means are in supposition and tied up abroad en route between Venice and Tripolis, Mexico, England, and the Indies. In considering Bassanio's request, Shylock is basically thinking out loud and reminding Bassanio and the audience that ships are not 100% reliable, sailors are only human, and pirates aboard. in the perils of the waters. Having contemplated this, Shylock knows Antonio is good for his bond, but we audience can already imagine Shylock's scheming to get the better of Antonio, such as will be revealed later. The next paragraph, in short, we conclude that these lines teaches us that we should be cooperative. We should serve for the betterment of other men. Now come today for the second paragraph. Ships are but men, there are land rats, water thieves, and land thieves. I mean pirates, and then there is the peril of waters, winds, and rocks. The man is not withstanding sufficient. These lines have been taken from the play The Merchant of Venice. These are written by William Shakespeare. Shakespeare was a great dramatist. He was certainly one of the most sufficient writers of his time. Indeed, these lines have been taken from Act First, Scene First of the play The Merchant of Venice. These lines are spoken by Shylock. In these lines, Bassanio confirms his request of 3,000 ducats for 3 months, asserting that Antonio will guarantee this. The next paragraph. In these above lines, Bassanio asks Shylock if he will give him the loan. Wanting to hear about the possible guarantor, Shylock asks if Antonio is an honest man. Bassanio takes umbrage at this and asks if he has heard otherwise. Shylock immediately says that no, he has not, but he also knows that Antonio currently has a lot of his wealth and goods at sea, making them vulnerable. Ultimately, Shylock decides that Antonio is still wealthy enough to guarantee the loan. Shylock resolves to take Antonio's bond, but wants to speak to him first, so Bassanio invites Shylock to dine with them. However, the Jewish Shylock, citing pork consummation, says that while he will walk with them, talk with them, and do business with them, he will not eat or pray with them. Antonio then enters, and Bassanio introduced him to Shylock. In an aside, Shylock describes his great disdain for Antonio, in part for being a Christian, but especially for lending out his money for free. In short, we conclude that this line teaches us that beware of frauds. Again, these lines reminds us that we should be careful